Hello?
Hey, this is Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. You may lose you because I got to dial this thing in again. Please bear with me.
Yeah, I'll call back if you do.
Okay.
Hey, this is Margaret. Should I hang up now?
No, you guys are on. Let's leave it. Mary,
Okay.
Are you there? Mary?
This is Warren. Do you want me to stay on or do you want me to log off?
No, stay on, please. We'll call Mary on another phone and tell her that we got it on and see if she can call in.
I don't have her phone number. Oh, I can go back and get the phone number.
Please, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. He said that they were told that everybody was remote now.
This is Warren. Do you want me to? I have her cell phone number on my phone if you want.
Yeah,
Who are you talking about?
You.
You.
Okay.
Hey, Mary, how you been?
Glad you're there because we're having problems with the phone here.
I got kicked off and I just got back on.
That's because it was on my phone. Sorry, Mary.
Oh, as long as everybody's having a good time.
Mary's here, Margaret's here, Warren's here, Charlie's here. Okay. Bob will be here. He's driving home.
Okay, so can we call it to order?
Absolutely.
Are we okay?
Yes.
Yes.
7
All
o'clock?
set.
Okay, 7 o'clock, Conservation Commission meeting for March 10th is called to order. This meeting of the Conservation Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, pursuant to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have suspended public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. We are meeting remotely and broadcasting live on Spencer Cable Access to ensure public viewing access. First thing is approval of February 24th minutes.
Mary,
Does anybody
this
have
is
anything?
Bob. Nope. Mary, this is Bob Perry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you, Bob.
Okay. I'm on the road coming home from Boston, so I've pulled over to participate.
Okay. All right. So, anybody have anything on the minutes?
Yeah, this is Charlie on page 3 on 5.5. I just think that it could just say there is a family issue and eliminate the sickness thing.
Okay. All set. I took it off.
This is Warren on page 2.
Okay.
On 7:15 p.m. At the very end, it looks like there's a comma and there's nothing that follows it.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's supposed to be a period.
Should be a period.
Yeah, period's supposed to be. Thank you.
Anything else? Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
Motion to approve, Warren.
Is there a second?
Margaret.
Charlie, second. Go ahead.
Okay. All in favor? Charlie,
Aye.
Aye.
Warren,
Aye.
Margaret,
Aye.
Bob? Bob still there? I think we had an aye from Bob. Anyway, I'm an aye. Got enough to approve. Okay. 4.1.
Mary,
Change
this
my
is
page.
Bob. Can you hear me? I'm having a little bit of cell reception issue.
Okay. Okay, I could hear you then. Okay, 4.1, continue the public hearing for
Okay.
notice of intent for Burton Engineering,
Mary, Steve.
property Charlton and Bacon Hill Road. It is 7:05.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
Steve, Burton Engineering for the applicant.
TJ Recupero, also for the applicant.
okay.
Mary, I'd just like to review one thing, if I may, and Mr. Recupero will be joining me after. It's regarding the additional funds for the change order to revisit the site by BSC Group, and it's for $1,900. The applicant is willing to pay the $1,900 if we can begin with the arrangement of a site visit for the delineation of the lines in question.
George?
Yes.
Yep.
Madam Chair, as stated, and members of the commission, as stated in my agent's report, the request for the additional funding went out originally on the 3rd of February. We requested them twice more since then. And today, Mr. Peichel requested the change order so that he...
I'd just like to review one thing, if I may, and Mr. Recupero will be joining.
And as stated in my agent's report, if we did not receive the funds by tonight's meeting, I would recommend denial of the application once again, and I would still make that recommendation.
Hello, this is Charlie. We're not here to make deals.
I agree.
I agree.
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
This is TJ Recupero for the applicant. So the change order was for a joint site visit between the applicant and BSC at our request. What your bylaw says is that when the commission imposes or asks for additional funds and instructs that the applicant deposit additional funds, then you can, and we don't pay it, then you can deny for lack of information. That's specifically from your bylaw. You didn't request this, we did. Matter of fact, we brought it up at one of the last meetings, not the last meeting, but the one prior to that. And the commission members didn't want to discuss it. They would prefer that we discussed it offline. This wasn't a request of the commission by a vote for additional funds. That's absolutely clear. There's nothing in the record. A denial for lack of information based on that is unfounded under anything in your bylaw. But I don't want to be confrontational about this. We just want to do peer review. So the point that I'm getting to is peer review stopped because we were setting up a meeting. There was a joint site visit that was actually scheduled, and then we had a huge snowstorm. And that was the same time the change order was issued. Since that change order was specifically issued to cover nothing else other than that joint site review. There's nothing else in that change order. other than BSC going out for an additional site visit with the applicant to review wetlands C and D, which they said they couldn't do because of not frozen ground, rocky ground, and they wanted to wait for leaf bloom in the spring. So our corresponding point was, we think we can resolve this. Your prior peer review report before BSC came on was able to verify those flags. Let's meet on site and let's look at those together. And then the snow came, that meeting was canceled. Since we couldn't have the meeting and that change order was specific, by the way, I don't know why a change order was needed when they have a contract and that contract says that included are any additional services based on the fees set in it specifically calls for additional fees to be paid without a change order in that scope of services that BSC provided. So we waited for a change order. That was fine. We were going to have a site visit. It was all put on hold due to snow. Now that snow is lifted, we can revisit that. And as Steve Peichel pointed out, we're happy to pay that now that we can go on site and do that. But there was nothing. We are not deficient. Matter of fact, we have overpaid because the initial scope of services actually was for about $9,800. Steve can tell you exactly. There was money that was left over from the prior peer reviewer that has been applied and used for BSC. And now I think the balance, Mr. Russell, I think you sent me an email. It was like $9,300 or something. So we still are overfunded in that account, which is fine. We just want peer review done, but by no means are we deficient, and by no means have we refused to pay anything.
If I may, TJ, for a moment, Madam Chairman, I did actually speak.
Wait, who is this? Who is speaking?
Steve Peichel, Burton Engineering for the applicant.
Thank you.
I have just spoken with Jillian Davies of BSC Group this afternoon, and as I understand it, anytime that an additional request is made, there is a change order issue, and this is merely.
I'm sorry, could you repeat? I've got a lot of static. Can you hold on for a second?
Sure.
And could everybody mute except for the person speaking? Because I'm having trouble understanding. I don't know if anybody else is.
Mary, this is Bob Perry, one of the commissioners. I'm not sure what's going on, but the communication is breaking up.
Madam Chairman.
Well, I heard you clearly. If you could, from Burton Engineering, if you could try again. I'm sorry. I just had all static. I couldn't understand what you were saying.
No, it's okay. If I may start over. I have spoken with Ms. Davies of BSC Group this afternoon. And I was merely just as an understanding of what Ms. Davies was quite clear then, and she did basically earmark certain amounts of money for review of the application. And we typically gave her that amount. And anytime there's anything additional requested over and above what her contract amount is, she asks for, as part of her process, a change order. Now, both the applicant's attorney was confused about that in quantifying what a change order was. And we have just recently found out from Ms. Davies what that was. And this $1,900, certainly within their process, if you will, if she's asked to do an additional task, she provides a change order. And at that point, once it's approved by you, she can do the change order. Now, she also mentioned that if there is any additional amounts that she does not use during the application process in the review of the application, she said that that amount can also be returned to the applicant. So this is us merely finding out just recently what the change order was about and learning their process. So by no means is this a confrontational thing. It is merely trying to quantify what the accounting is. That's all. And like Mr. Kukupino says, we will pay the amount. We just want to get moving and get the application moving. Thank you.
Okay, George, it seems like we have cleared things up now. Are you good with that?
The only thing I will say is the change order was given to the applicant's representative 5 weeks ago. And just now, we're finding out what is being, that they're willing to pay the funds, or they're finding out what it's for? 5 weeks?
No, we've had it.
My recommendation still stands.
So, George,
Commissioner?
George, this is Bob.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Your recommendation to this subject
My
doesn't
recommendation,
change at all.
that's correct. My recommendation is still to deny the application.
Yep. Thank you. George, you do good work. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
if I may again, what your bylaw says is when the commission determines that additional funds are needed, if at that point the applicant does not pay, then you can deny for lack of information. The commission never made any determination at any time that additional funds were necessary. As a matter of fact, the commission did not want to discuss it. That's in your record and in your minutes. We are the ones that requested the additional meeting. That's the change order. That's why a denial for lack of information is not only inappropriate, but it's not supported by your bylaw.
The request for the funds went out on February 3rd, and then again on February 25th, and on February 28th. So that is in our records that those went out.
So it was our request, Madam Chair. The board never took any vote that it needed additional funds. We were requesting an additional meeting. It was our request. The board never made any request for additional funds because it lacked information. That's what the bylaw says. I'm just quoting from the bylaw. And again, I don't want to be confrontational. We just want to do peer
All right.
review.
So this is Bob Perry, one of the commissioners. I don't want to be blunt, but we need to figure out what allows us to move forward. So I'm not disagreeing with the applicant, and I'm not disagreeing with the board. So let's set some parameters for what needs to be done to resolve this issue, because we can go back and forth all night long. At the end of the day, it's he said, she said. Let's just get a level base ground for what needs to be done.
Madam
My
Chair, this is George.
my 2 cents worth.
George, yes?
It's my opinion that the commission does not have to vote on every single change concerning the peer review. The commission voted to authorize peer review, which is under contractual arrangement with the municipality and BSC. It is the staff's function to make sure that the peer review is effectuated and completed in the most timely manner possible, acting on behalf of the commission. It is still my opinion that that has not been done in terms of response from the applicant.
And I agree. We have never voted on any of these changes in the past because it always has been taken care of by staff. We voted for the peer review, and that indicates any changes are taken care of.
Again, I'll say this was at our request. This was our request for an additional meeting. Absent the additional meeting, you have all the funds covering peer review. So if we don't go out there on site with BSC, BSC still is required under your contract and the funds that we paid to complete a full peer review. And it's fully funded.
Hello, this is Charlie. When this meeting takes place to view the site, is it okay if I go and look with them? This is all becoming way too confusing for me. I want to see it.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
this is Warren. I believe we have delegated the authority to George for all the administrative tasks indicated in his agent's report. So I don't see any issue there, and I tend to agree with George on his points. Thank you.
I do too. We have delegated that part of his work.
This is Charlie, and I agree, but I'd like to get a first-hand view of this. Is that possible?
Get a what, Charlie?
I would look. This has been going on forever. I'd like to see the site. Is that possible?
So
Yes, you have the legal right to go on it.
right.
No, but I meant to go at the. I meant if I could go, or any of us who wants to, can go at the time when BSC goes and visits the site with the applicant.
Charlie, this is Bob,
Yeah.
George, Bob, Mary, Bob. I'm happy to go with you, Charlie, because right
Okay.
now I'm a little bit confused about the whole thing. So
As am I.
On a convenient schedule, which means when the applicant is available, I'm happy to walk the land.
I'm also interested. So, this is Mary.
This is Margaret. I'm interested too. This is very
Yep.
confusing.
Yeah.
If I may, Madam Chairman, for the applicant, Steve Michael, Burton Engineering.
Yes.
I would like permission to speak with Ms. Davies again and arrange for a site visit so you all can see the site and we can answer these questions. This is our goal. And I think it's in everyone's best interest to do that. I think right along we've been very cooperative and we've wanted you to understand the issues as we both Ms. Davies sees it and also as we see it. And we would encourage a group site walk with not only BSC group, but with the commission. All we want to do is set up a date that is mutually convenient for all of us. And we can certainly do that, but we all have to put our heads together and do that. And the applicant can encourage that. Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
this is George. With all due respect to Attorney Recupero, I disagree with his interpretation of the bylaw. The bylaw only states the commission shall require the applicant to pay peer review fees. It doesn't say they have to vote on every issue involved in that. And should the commission once again decide to continue this hearing, I still want to point out that this has been pending for 13 months. And if these issues could not have been addressed before now, something is clearly wrong.
Yes, something. One peer reviewer to another, and then when we have a verified line with one peer reviewer consultant, and then the other one, we would certainly want to have everyone out there and make sure that you understood the line, but we've, through the whole course of this application, have been cooperative in this respect. In fact, more cooperative. And I would just suggest that we collectively figure out a way to do this, to have everyone's interest resolved. And then at that point, you can make your decision. But to do it now would be silly and capricious.
All right, so let's, at this point, to kind of save time, let's try and set up a date. Yeah.
Madam Chairman,
Yes,
Gary Woodbury, 219 Charlton Road. I know this is a public hearing. I'd like to speak, please.
go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Madam Chair, but in the essence of protocol, I think the applicant should rest his testimony before you take any public testimony.
Fair
Okay.
enough, George.
I agree. George, I agree. So the applicant should rest, and then we can have public comment.
All right, is the applicant, I thought the applicant was done. Are you done?
TJ, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, if I'll, Madam Chair, I promise I'll be brief. The peer review started in this, and the peer review letter that you have from BSC dating back to January says that they stopped because they examined areas C and D and couldn't do, because of rocky ground, they couldn't do soil testing and soils analysis, excuse me, and they wanted to wait till for leaf bloom so that they could confirm. All the peer review from that point forward, near as I can tell, has stopped because we haven't seen any report since January, and now we're in March, and we've been pursuing, as a matter of fact, since I've been involved in this, going back to, I think, July, I think 90% of our discussions have been focused on trying to get peer review moving and done so we can get to the substance. We haven't had a plan up on the screen here in a year. We're trying to do that. I'm trying to be cooperative and assert a point aggressively. I'm not a bang my shoe sort of attorney.
Well, in fairness, we asked back in February to extend this till April because that's when you might get some leaf bloom. And so it's understandable that there hasn't been any peer review. There hasn't been any leaf bloom since.
But that was the point of the joint meeting. That was the point of the joint meeting, was to go out and see what they could do together with, prior to waiting until April leaf bloom. That was specifically the point, and that was at our request. That wasn't at the commission's request. That was at our request, and the commission agreed with that generally. And I think that would be productive now that they can do that. And as Steve Peichel suggested, more than happy to have all the commission members go out there and look at the property along with BSC so we can get to the substance of this. And that's all we've been trying to do from now forward. Getting into the niceties of your bylaw isn't really what I'm interested in. I'm right on that, but I'm not really interested in debating it. It's more important to us to get to the substance of the application. And at that, I'll leave it.
Okay, so we have come to that point. We had said we would set up a date, and Mr. Woodbury wanted to voice an opinion. So let's have him voice his opinion, and then let's set up a date.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. And I apologize for interrupting. However, that property located behind me and behind all my neighbors has created a water problem for one neighbor. She actually had to take him to court, and it cost quite a bit of money. Ever since that place was logged and it's full of ledge, that's obviously. My well is affected now. It's producing a lot of rust. I will be taking action against that. I think there's a lot more involved up behind me than just looking at the wetlands. I just want to be clear on that, is all the wells on this street are now affected in producing rust. They've been here over 30 years. My well used to produce 30 gallons per minute. So there is an issue going on with that property prior to anything else that's going to be clear cut up there. So I just want to be clear that this fight is not over. So, and I agree 100%, is our bylaws are our bylaws. And it's up to you people to enforce them. And to give restitution or breaks to somebody, it's not our problem. So I just want to be clear that, you know, my well has been affected since that's been logged. It was logged in 2017. And I think that's the other issue that we'll be faced with. But I just want to clearly be heard that this is not over. And God forbid if I got to put a new well in. So I'm just going to leave it at that, Madam Chair. Thank you for letting me voice my opinion.
Mr. Woodbury? Mr. Woodbury?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is George Russell, the agent. In order to build the record, and based on your comments, if you could put that in writing, attention my office, it would be, I think, in your best interest.
George, you are going to get a letter from all the neighbors down here, including the one that had to go to court.
Very well. That is in your best interest to do that, due to the way 310 CMR is written. So please put it in writing.
I agree. They are working on it right now. You'll get it from the whole neighbors. So thank you so much for reminding me of that.
Hello, this is Charlie. Mr. Woodbury, would you be willing to do a site walk with us?
I can tell you, Charlie, I know that land probably better than anybody prior to Todd Vickers buying it. I actually bought the land from the gentleman that owned that. That land was originally going into the Audubon, so I know the land very well. So I don't have a problem. I was there when they were digging the test hole, so you just let me know and I'll be there.
That would be great.
Thank you so much.
Madam Chairman? Madam Chair?
Yes. Yes.
I would like to, this is George, I would also like to point out for the record that the commission has a policy that no wetlands delineation is supposed to be done in the winter months when snow covers the ground. And BSC has made a concerted attempt, because this application has been pending for so long, to in fact get the wetland certification, wetlands delineation line certified, and the weather did not cooperate. So any failing, quote unquote, on BSC's part is due to the weather and not them.
Okay, and still, I know that the weather is going to be warm the next couple of days, but then we're going back into a colder streak. I still wonder when we could do this site visit.
Madam Chair,
Madam
Go ahead,
Chairwoman,
George.
Warren had the floor.
Oh, Warren.
this is Warren. Are we going to have a motion to continue or to vote on the project? We can vote for denial or vote for continuance. What are we going to do?
Okay, that's a good question, because if we vote for denial, then the rest of this is mute. Does someone have a motion?
Madam Chair, if I may, procedurally, if you want to take a motion, I'd recommend you vote to close the hearing first. And if you vote to close the hearing, then the site walk becomes mute as well, because then you can't take any more testimony. And the motion to deny or approve would have to be made within 21 days. So it is in the commission's interest to decide if they want to continue the hearing for a site walk or close the hearing.
Okay.
Madam
I'm thinking of this. Go ahead.
I still see that there's an interest by most of the majority of the commission to do a site walk. So that being said, I think it's probably in the best interest to continue the meeting.
Do I have comments from commissioners?
This is
Margaret,
Warren.
I agree.
Okay. Warren?
If we vote on it now, I'm going to vote for denial.
Okay, but if we continue, that's what we're trying to decide. Do we want to continue or do we want to close this?
Charlie, if we can set up a date for a site visit before the next meeting, then I would vote for continuance, otherwise denial.
Well, the thing is the land going to be okay to go on, or are we still going to have winter conditions?
Mrs. Chairman,
that's the question first.
Mr. Chairman, for the applicant, please. Steve Michael, Burton Engineering.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
up on the site last week. There was a spotty snow across the site, and certainly we can access it. I would be willing to take pictures and send it to the commission, and just so you can make your decision based on those photos, if it's the commission's desire.
Well, we wouldn't be able to do anything until the next meeting if we don't do it now, if we don't have the photos now.
Yeah, this
we
is
wouldn't-
Charlie. I don't want to see photos. I want to go out there and look at it.
No. He's saying photos to see if we're okay with doing a site walk.
Okay.
How long do we have to wait till the conditions are going to be favorable for a site walk?
Okay.
Madam
I don't
Chairman,
So,
what I could do is obviously I'll go out tomorrow and I will take photos and I will send it to Jane, and Jane can obviously distribute the photos how she sees fit. But it's the applicant's will to produce photos to the commission so they can make their decision about whether they want to do the sidewalk or not.
well, that doesn't help us for tonight, though.
Well, I can't take them tonight. You know that.
No, I know that. That's what I'm saying. So we're kind of stuck with that.
Madam
Margaret,
Chair,
you
this
have to
is
say
George.
something? Okay.
Madam Chair, excuse
Yeah.
me for interrupting. This is George. I would strongly recommend that if the commission is going to keep the hearing open for arranging a site walk, just vote to continue the hearing at this point because we don't know what BSC's availability is.
Okay. So let's.
Yeah, this is Charlie. I agree.
I think. Do we have a consensus? Does anybody disagree with continuing this?
This is Margaret. I agree with that too.
Okay. So we are going to continue to the next meeting. Is that good with the applicant?
Madam Chairman, Steve Peichel for Burton Engineering for the applicant. Yes, we would be willing to continue.
So that is what, the 24th? I don't know. I don't have the calendar.
March 24th.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. So this will be continued till, so this Charlton and Bacon Hill Solar Project will be continued till March 24th.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. All right. 7:38, item 4.2. Continue the public hearing for notice of intent for Christine and Edwin Mullen.
Madam Chair, we have a request from the applicant to continue the hearing.
Okay, and this will be continued also to the 24th? public hearing for notice of intent for Christine and Edwin Mellon will be continued till March 24th. Item 4.3, 7:39, open public meeting for the request of determination of applicability for Roger Boulay, property 135 Smithville Road. So, George?
Madam Chair, the applicant filed a request for determination based on the commission's vote. It's a significant pile of debris piled up in jurisdiction. I told him about the meeting and told him he would have to be present. If he's not here, I'd recommend the hearing be continued.
Is Mr. Boulay present? Oh. I'm thinking no. So it looks like we will continue this hearing till March 24th. Okay. Item 5.1, the enforcement order for Westland Drive.
Debris that was placed within jurisdiction. There's even a driveway so people can go in and dump it there. I've had no response to 3 pieces of correspondence to the property owner. I would request the commission vote to issue the enforcement order that was included in your packets.
Do we have any comments from commissioners?
Yeah, this is Charlie. I'm looking at the pictures. How far away from the wetlands area is this? It looks like they plowed a bunch of debris, you know.
It's probably within 20 feet of the BVW.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, this is Roger Boulay.
Okay.
Madam Chairman, I recommend you finish item 5.1, then can go back to 4.3.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to finish this item first because we weren't on, and then we'll go back. All right. Do the commissioners approve the enforcement order for Westland Drive? Do we have a motion to approve that?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Hello, this is Roger Bully. I had a hard time getting onto the phone.
Yes, I'm telling you, we're on Westland Drive. We will come back to yours after we finish this. Let us finish this, and then we will come back to you. Okay?
Okay, I'll try to get back on, but like I said, I had a hard time.
Just stay on. Just stay.
No, just stay on.
Okay, thank you. I hope my phone does not die.
Okay. So do we have a motion to for the enforcement order for Westland Drive?
Yeah, this is Charlie. Motion to approve the enforcement order at Westland Drive.
Do we have a second?
This is Margaret, second.
All in favor? Margaret?
Aye.
Warren?
Hi.
Bob? Bob there? Okay. Charlie?
Aye.
Mary is an aye. Did we get Bob, or did we lose him again? Might have lost him.
I think we lost him.
All right, so we've got enough for that order anyway.
Thank you.
Okay. Coming back to
Mary, this is Bob. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. couldn't be four.
Okay. No, that's okay. My cell phone reception is a little sketchy. So, I agree. I am an aye on the last vote.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So back to 135 Smithville Road, the request for the determination of applicability. All right. George? Does the applicant want to say anything?
Yes, this is Roger Bully.
Yeah.
135 Smithville Road.
Okay.
I want to know what the next step is. I just want to clean this up. I paid my $150. I didn't put the debris there. It was storm damage. I did pile it up. I'm sorry. I would just like to get it cleaned up and get this over with.
Mr. Bully, this is Mr. Russell, the conservation agent. You want to take that out or just leave it there?
I would like to clean it up, get rid of it.
Okay.
Clean it up. That's what I want to do, is clean up.
All right. I just want to clarify.
Yep.
Hello, this
Sir? Go ahead, Bob.
Go ahead.
All right. So is there a difference between leaving it there and cleaning it up to, affect the wetlands protection? Which is the better choice?
It depends on how it's going to be cleaned up. If it's going to put heavy equipment in there, which is going to dig up the ground, for instance, it's going to be worse. It's going to be detrimental to the jurisdictional area. If it's just going to be cleaned up by hand, it won't be a problem.
So, to the applicant, and forgive me, I didn't get your name.
Roger Boulay.
All right, Roger.
Yes.
To clean up the area by hand without heavy equipment is preferable. If that's something you can do.
Yes, it's just the brush pile. It's just the brush pile and a log that broke off of the tree. And I want to cut the tree down that's left there. It's just 20 foot of what's left of the tree in one branch.
Yep.
Basically, it entails, a chainsaw, and I was going to borrow a chipper or rent a chipper or whatever it takes to
no.
make this go away.
So we're not looking to put heavy excavation equipment down there.
That's not excavation, a chipper to chip the brush.
No.
George, are we good with that?
Members of the commission, this is George. I'd recommend that if the debris is to be removed, that the motion to approve the RDA negative number 2 should include material must be removed by hand or light equipment.
There we go.
Is a chipper considered light equipment, sir?
Yes.
Load his excavators, bulldozers, man. I'm
George,
not trying to...
George, I may have overstepped, but to me, a chipper is not heavy equipment.
I agree.
Okay, so we're all good.
Okay, so do we have a motion for the determination?
This is Warren. I have a
do we have a
question
motion
for
to
Mr.
close the
Boulay.
meeting?
This is
Oh,
Warren. I have a
first,
question
go
for the
ahead.
applicant. Can I ask the applicant a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Boulay,
Go ahead, Warren.
do you understand that you have the option of leaving it or removing it per the conditions George explained?
I don't want to leave it there. I want to clean up the mess. I want to be able to get rid of that and maintain my property.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Perfect.
I don't want to hurt the ecosystem. You know, I'm not here to destroy the planet. I'm here to clean the place up.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure you were clear.
No, as
right.
applicant, you're good. Let's clean it up, get it out of there by hand, by non-mechanical. We're good.
But with light
A
machinery.
chainsaw and a chipper and a little tractor is all I'm going to require to move all this stuff out of there. A small 30 horsepower homeowner tractor, not a bulldozer, not a heavy equipment by any means.
Okay, do we have a motion to close this hearing, this meeting?
This is Bob. Warren, I'm giving you a second.
Okay,
I'll second.
all in favor? Warren,
Aye.
Bob,
That wasn't me. This is
For
Warren.
Bob, aye.
Warren, okay. I'm confused.
This is
Margaret?
Warren. I agree. Let's close it.
Yes, close it. Goodbye.
Margaret?
So I am allowed to clean this mess up.
Wait,
Okay.
we haven't voted yet. We're just closing the meeting.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Okay, Charlie
Aye.
and Mary is an aye. Okay, do we have a motion on the request for determination?
This is Warren. Motion for negative number 2.
With the light equipment statement, correct?
With the light equipment statement by the agent.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Charlie, second.
Yep. Bob, second, third,
All in
fourth.
favor? Warren,
Aye.
Charlie,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Margaret,
Aye.
and Mary is an aye. Okay, now you're good, Mr. Bowie.
All right. Now, negative number 2 means I'm approved to clean it.
Yeah.
Yes, you are, as soon as you get the application or the permit in the mail.
What permit in the mail? I already, oh, when you're going to send me a permit?
Yep.
Commission has
Okay.
to sign it.
I don't understand all of this. I'm very sorry. I didn't think there was a fee to clean up this mess. I just was trying to do my best to keep the place neat and clean.
You know what? You've done good,
Yeah.
and now you can close it out.
Thank you. All of my neighbors have told me what a great job I've done over there.
Yep.
I've got nothing but praise from everybody in the neighborhood. I bought the house a year and a half ago from my mother-in-law. My father-in-law passed away, and I bought the property to clean it up. And the pine trees have been coming down, and there's more of them out back that have come down, and one across the building I got to clean up. And I just want to get it all done.
Sir, if you just follow the orders from the commission, we'll all be good.
That is what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. Sir.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you very much, people.
Yep, you're very welcome.
Okay.
Bye.
Item 5.2, 7 Sycamore. George?
Madam Chairman, during a routine inspection of the site, I discovered a very large pile of trees that were cut down and piled up in the no-touch zone, possibly on the bank and the land under water body. Notifying the property owner of my findings, they have requested a discussion with the commission to see if the commission wants a new NOI or a amendment to the existing one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I asked for.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Sorry, I was on mute. Okay, what did you ask for?
I already have, a long time ago, I put in my letter of intent and I put in my, all the other things. I have my DEP number. As you can see by the site plan I submitted, clearly indicates that I was, demolishing a house and putting up a new house, which I have in fact done. I didn't take out enough trees originally, so that, when I'm trying to finish the patio on my house and stone retaining walls and such, there were trees in the middle of it, and I took them down. Anyways, and I wrote a whole letter to George about that, and I just want to clean up the mess.
Madam Chair, this is George. The problem is where you put the trees violates the orders of conditions. You put them in 3 different resource areas.
It doesn't read that on my order of conditions at all.
Yeah, but
the trees
that's because they weren't on the notice of intent.
That's correct.
All right. So, George,
Yes.
and the applicant, this is Bob.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner. I'm just asking, so he did some actions, property. Where do we know? It's hard to say. What do we need to know that he has to do to meet the standard?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
It looks like he needs an amendment to his NOI.
Right.
That's my recommendation, because as the commission knows, the courts have ruled putting the material in the resource area is one violation, taking them out is another if you do it without a permit.
Yeah. No, George, you're absolutely right. So, how do we help the applicant through this?
So he needs to amend his NOI.
Yes.
Exactly. We will generate a letter if the commission so votes, outlining the procedure to do the amendment and all the processes involved.
Yeah. So this is Charlie. A question to the applicant. How do you propose to get these pieces of wood off the shoreline?
I simply drag them to the brush pile.
They look too big to drag.
Pardon me?
I got a picture here in front of me. They look pretty big to drag.
I'll drag them. They're not that big, and they're just hemlock, and they're
I know, but they look like 10-inch by 6 feet pieces. I know how much they weigh.
Charlie's probably younger than you.
Huh?
He's probably younger than you, and he might use 2 hands on those.
Madam Chair, members of the commission, I'd also like to point out that if you look at the photographs, all this debris is beyond the erosion control barrier, and the erosion control barrier is always the limit of work.
Yeah, that's what I see, George. I agree.
Absolutely.
This is Warren. I think that George's report, George's recommendations are the easiest thing for the applicant to do to get out of this.
Okay, so let's make it official, and how many are in favor of George writing to the applicant with the process for him to move on with this amendment? Yes? No?
No,
Do we have-
Mary,
Yes.
this is Bob. I agree with you.
Okay. How about Charlie? Do you agree?
Yeah, this is Charlie. I agree, but if equipment is gonna go down there, hydraulic equipment, we normally tell people they have to prevent any, within 40 feet of the water, any, capture of a ruptured hydraulic line.
Charlie, this is George. When the applicant submits the amendment, he'll have to submit a narrative outlining what he's going to do and how he's going to do it. At that point, should the boom be required, we'll enter it as a stipulation.
Okay.
Yeah. This is just to give him directions on how to go about applying for the amendment.
Okay.
Okay? So you're in favor, Margaret?
I'm in favor.
I'm in favor. Whoever. Bob, were you in favor?
Yeah, I'm in favor.
This is Warren. I'm in
Warren,
favor.
you were in favor.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're good with that. 5.3, discussion of the enforcement order for 24 Oak Lane.
Hold on, folks. Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Just, if I'll do this amendment thing. I take it that's what's going to happen. We're going to do an amendment. And can we schedule that for the next, I understand your next meeting is the 24th?
No, because that doesn't work that way. You have to send out a butter notifications. That will be explained in the letter.
Well, all this being said, we have to go through all this crap?
Yes, this crap is the state law.
And in the meantime, can I get my stop work order lifted? I'm trying to build a house.
No. The stop work order pertains to the fact you violated the orders of conditions. Until those orders are corrected by voting the amendment by the Conservation Commission, no work can take place.
Okay, and you can't do it by the 24th of the month, the next meeting?
No.
No. We don't have time to advertise it. Besides, we also have to get your payments before we can advertise.
George, this is Bob.
Yes, sir.
What is the address of the bill?
The address of the what?
The proposed residential build.
Did you get that, Jim?
You mean what we're talking about right
It's
now?
on Sycamore.
I'm asking what is the property that this person is reviewing.
Sorry. 7 Sycamore.
That's 7
Thank you,
Sycamore.
No, I'm good. Thank you,
Okay.
Jane. Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
Okay, item 5.3, the enforcement order for 24 Oak Lane.
Madam Chair, just to refresh everybody's memory, this is the address where the property owner placed sand on the beach and land under the water body. DEP did not get a complete application. We've been going back and forth on this, and copies of all the emails are in your packet. The chairman of the wetland section at DEP is recommending that the commission issue an enforcement order given the legalities of what's transpiring, but made it clear that the issuance of said order is up to you. I have included one in your packet should you decide to do it. And this hearing has been continued to the first meeting in April because the commission wanted to take a site visit after the water levels came back up.
Okay, so, basically you want us to vote on the enforcement order tonight.
That is correct.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
Charlie. I have a comment. There's no letdown on Thompson Pond.
Oh, okay. Well, when I was out there, it seemed like the water levels had fallen. It could have been due to natural forces, but they're going to come back up a little bit, especially with all the snow melt.
Yeah, I agree. It is, but it's a fixed dam. So it doesn't, there's no water let down. So
Okay.
as soon as the snow's gone, we should go and look, like we agreed upon, the extent of the sand in and out of the water.
That would be good, but the question, as Mary has stated, is does the commission want to issue an enforcement order? My recommendation would be the commission is legally better covered by issuing the order.
I agree.
Okay, so somebody want to make a motion to issue the enforcement order?
This is Warren. Recommend issuing an enforcement order.
Margaret,
We have a
This is
second?
Bob. This is Bob. In concurrence with George, Charlie, and the other members of the commission, I agree.
Okay. So, Bob's a yes. Charlie?
Yeah.
Warren?
Yes.
Yes.
Margaret?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Okay. All right. That brings us to your report, George.
Madam Chair, I submitted with my report a report that Ginny had originally developed, and it is there for the commission's purview, and frankly, this is a little bit of covering for me. I would like to make one addition to it, though, based on
Oh, excuse me, George. Somebody is not muted, and I can't hear you. There's background noise.
Again, this report was developed by Ginny. I would like request the commission to review it, and if they agree to next time they come in to sign permits, to sign off on it. But based on tonight's discussion, I would like to add one more bullet point, and that is the agent is empowered to coordinate peer review.
I like that.
Yep. This is Bob. I agree, concur, vote yes.
Margaret, I agree with it too.
Okay. Charlie?
Madam Chair, I request a formal vote to adopt the agent's authorization policy and then have you sign it when you come in, because I want to prevent, frankly, what transpired in the first hearing tonight.
Okay. So, I think there was a motion and a second to adopt this. All in favor? Margaret?
Yay.
Aye.
Okay. Bob was a yay. Margaret was a yay.
Yes. I'm a
Warren?
yes. Yes.
Charlie? Charlie?
Yes.
Charlie?
Yes. I was on
Okay.
mute.
Okay, and I'm a yes. Okay. Is there anything else, George?
No, that's it.
Okay, do
Mary,
we have a
this is
motion?
Warren. No,
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Mary, This is
Yes.
Warren, you didn't ask
Yes.
me if I voted.
Oh, I thought I did. Warren, I'm
Oh.
sorry. Are you
So
a yes?
yes, so yes, I agree with this one. But if George ever leaves us, I think we should review all the authorizations each time there's a new agent appointed.
I think that's a
I
great
agree.
idea.
Because not everybody has the skills that George has. So
Okay,
yes, I agree with it this time. But I think we should review this every time there's a new agent comes in town.
okay.
Warren,
I,
Warren, this is Bob. I agree with you.
do we have a motion to adjourn?
This
This is Charlie,
Bob.
motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn,
Second.
seconded, third, everything else. Go to bed.
All in
Hallelujah.
favor? Bob?
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Have a good night.
See y'all.
Well,